Hi, I'm going to show you how to work with graphics for the Dardel HPC cluster as part of the course Intro to Python for HPC as provided by NICE. Looking at the table of content here, I will talk about why we want to use graphics. We're going to use matplotlib to create a plot, and then we're going to view the plot. There is some repetition in it because we have worked with Python scripts. In this session we will write a Python script and run the Python script. You'll see I'll go a bit faster over that because we've done this in another session. Zooming in on the learning outcomes, we're going to practice using the documentation of our HPC cluster. In this case we use Dardel's documentation, which is maintained by PDC. We're going to create a minimal plot. It's about graphics, not about using matplotlib at all. We do need to load a software module for matplotlib, and we're going to view the plot, and we definitely in this video going to show the plot. So why you want to use graphics? Well, they are useful to visualize your data. For example, in plots, you want plots in your publications. I'm sure you can run them on your local computer, but you can also create them on an HPC cluster. And it's a useful exercise because you also need to load some modules, getting familiar with the module system and the documentation of your HPC cluster, of course. Matplotlib, it's a very popular Python package to make plots. That's why we use it. We'll see how hard it is to use. The hardest part is to find out which software modules to load. This is all the code we will be using, where we import the package, we create a plot, and we save it. Like again, it's about graphics, not about matplotlib here. This is how the plot will look like. Look how simple it is. There's no title, there's no scale, there's nothing. It's a minimal plot. Viewing the graphics from a terminal may not always work. A terminal is made to be text only. However, it can be made to also show light graphics, which is when you allow X forwarding. For Dardel, however, this does not work. So instead, we'll be using the remote desktop environment using ThinLink. It's called a local ThinLink client that I'll be using. You'll see it soon. And that already has graphics enabled. You'll also see that this still works a bit clumsy. We'll need to load another module for that too. Let's take a look at the exercise. So now we're going to move this thing to the right. And at the right I have opened up a ThinLink connection to Dardel. This is how it looks like. And I'm going to open up a terminal. There. Good. First question. Create a Python script called createPlot with the content of the example code in it. Sure, we can create a plot. I'm going to copy paste this code. I'm going to do nano create. Make it a bit bigger. Nano create plot.py. In the Dardel you need to load a module called nano. We've done this in the previous session, so that's why I'm going a bit quicker through this. There. Ctrl Shift V to paste. Ctrl O to save, Enter to keep the name, Ctrl X to exit, and just to double check that it's created. Next step, run the Python script and observe the error. Sure, Python create plot, there. And here we have the proper error. It cannot find the module named matplotlib. Good. For your favorite HPC center, find the documentation on how to use matplotlib. Let's do that. So I'm going to search for Dardel PDC user documentation matplotlib. Let's see where this takes us. This looks great. Here is the search button. I'm going to search for matplotlib. Taking a look at this documentation, I see that there's no documentation of matplotlib. There are only these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, more or less 5 or 4 documents. So matplotlib is completely undocumented here at PDC. So let's take the UpMax documentation about Matplotlib instead. Let's see how they done it. Here it is, loading the Matplotlib module. So I'm going to go back to Dardel. I'm going to load this module and see what happens. And from here on I can move myself, because here it says what I should try. So I'm going to do that. Ctrl Shift C, Ctrl Shift V. I get shown some Matplotlib versions. I know I need to try this one. You can try the other one. You'll fail. It will give an error message. So I need to load this module. Module load. Pick. Maybe there are still errors. Yep, it says, hey, you need to do module spider on that thing first, because I have more things to say to you. That's what we're gonna do. It says you will need to load this thing first. Sure. I'm gonna paste that thing here. There are some versions being changed, but this means it worked. So now I can run my Python code again, and now it will work. If I do ls, I already see my plot here. Next step is viewing the plot. And for this, one way to solve it is log into a remote desktop environment. And I can already show you this. If I go to the File Explorer, then here I can already see a preview of my plot. Problem is I cannot view it. If I double click on it and I click on search in software, it shows me nothing. I see that it's there, like you see like a zoomed out version of it, but I cannot nicely view it. And that is the problem we're gonna address now. View the plot. In this case it's not straightforward. In this case we need to run this on the terminal. So I copy paste that. And there we see my plot in full glory. With this, I have showed you how to work with graphics on the Dardel HPC cluster as maintained by PDC. This was part of the course Intro to Python for HPC as taught by NICE. With this, I wish you a very good day. Bye!